Here, let me throw this out there. I'm going to make a prediction. And as you know, we predicted that TPP would come down like this. So we did well on that one. But as everybody here remembers from the Allison Lundgren Grimes thing, my predictions always come true.
Right.
I predict that if he is smart enough to come out against this and come out strongly, the consolidated anti-establishment candidate will become Mike Huckabee. He has been smart enough to come out against cutting Social Security and Medicare. He realizes that the Club for Growth guys, whatever, are going to look at his record when he was in Arkansas, when he actually was a little bit more of a compassionate conservative and raised taxes and did things like that. They're never going to support him with anything. So he's not going to get their support anyhow, which is why he did what he did with Social Security and Medicare, because he's got nothing to lose and everything to gain. If he were smart enough to add this issue to that issue and ran as a true socially conservative, populist, really a populist, you could just say, on all issues, be their economic and social, I think he could consolidate the Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, anti-establishment support and become that guy. And he could win Iowa. And remember, I'm not claiming I like the guy. He seems like a jackass to me, like most of them do. But he doesn't go on, for the most part, go in interviews and act like Rand Paul or Ted Cruz. He's by far the most likable of these Republican candidates. There's a reason he did as well as he did in 2008, where he really came pretty close to beating McCain. And that was because he's got the evangelical preacher thing and all of that. He's been on Fox News since then, and he's increased his base. But he can go on Bill Maher and Jon Stewart, and he can sit there and almost charm them a little bit, which none of these other guys can do. I'm just saying, if he were smart and he would come out massively against TPP, there could be a problem for a lot of those other Republicans. So
it's interesting because the sense I have gotten is that he has not been pushing his populist bona fides in the way that he did in 2008. I mean, in 2008, that was all you heard from him. And the sort of the God Squad stuff came second. I feel like this time around, he is basically trying to sort of scoop up some of those sort of, because Santorum seems to be now focusing on foreign policy this go around. And so it feels like Huckabee's trying to...
a one-line platform, just nuke Iran?
Right. I think Huckabee is trying to scoop up the Santorum Bachmann sort of crowd. And because, we were listening to audio of him today talking about, he was saying all sorts of crazy anti-gay stuff. But you're right. And what would be really interesting to see is if he came out strong on this TPP thing, if it then started to undercut Ted Cruz and Ted Cruz felt like he had to come out. Yeah. But, it's almost like that ship has sailed because, the trade authority, the TPA, which is like, sort of the fast track bill, would have been the one for Cruz to come out on. Like, I'm totally for trade. I believe in whatever it is, corporate.
It gets into such of the psyche and the fear on the right. That is the smart play for any one of these guys.
Yeah.
To also talk to their donors, what you were saying about Scott Walker and his epiphany. Say, I'll have an epiphany on trade in a year, and maybe I will on Social Security too. My God, with the older, whiter male segment, which really, the Bill O'Reilly demographic, that really is who turns out in that and votes in those primaries, and my God, the caucus, which is like the most conservative of the conservative in Iowa. I mean, that's the smart play.
Do you think Huckabee's even running for president?
I'm not sure that's the thing. I'm not sure he's running for president, and I'm not sure he's smart enough to do this. If he were, this would be the easy play for him.
If he was actually running for president, I agree with you. I just get the sense that what he's doing is trying to, list build and, have a speaking tour and maybe get back on Fox.
Sell some more books.
Yep.
and the sort of the info on him, the 411 on Huckabee is that when he left the governor's mansion in Arkansas, anything that wasn't nailed to the floor, they took with them.
Yeah.
Seriously. They got in trouble for taking furniture out of there. So this is a guy that has lost his way in terms of what he's supposed to have learned as a good Christian, and he seems to like worldly possessions a whole lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're right that this is, I've thought about that, whether he was going to really run this time. I think maybe get yourself a better slot on Fox, get yourself some more money for your next books, raise the speaking fees a little bit. So yes, if he's really running for president, the TPP thing is such the obvious play for him. I think Santorum, Cruz, and all these other guys would have to follow him. He'd be the leader there, and he could galvanize, I think, a combination of evangelicals and Tea Party support against the establishment, and frankly could overcome the money disparity, because there are probably some Tea Party folks with some money he could raise. But luckily for us, he's probably either not running for presidency or he's not that smart, so he may not do it.